It's time to make a wicked cool pattern using Tinkercad Sketch, so let's get cracking. This is Tinkercad.com. It is from Autodesk. It is the absolute easiest way to start learning computer-aided design. It is 100% free. You can simply choose sign in with Google. Today we're going to create a brand new design, so simply hit Create 3D Design. I like to start by naming files. We're going to call this one Hoop. You could also call it Basket. You could also call it Pattern. If you've never worked with Tinkercad before, I've got a ton of day one tutorials. I've got a bit.ly right here that'll get to them. There are many shapes you can just bring out, stack, and have fun and build with. Before I go any further, I do want to mention this video is sponsored by PCBWay.com. Their easy-to-use website is my go-to whether I'm doing a 3D printing, CNC, or PCB prototype project. They offer prototyping for as low as $5, and you can also have your parts assembled. They also offer a full suite of 3D printing services, which I just tested, and if you stick around for the end of the video, I'll show you how the parts turned out. Today, though, we are going to build with the awesome Sketch tool. When you bring this out, notice it does fit exactly in a 20 by 20 grid, and I'm putting it in the center. You can see how those two blue lines meet. When we snap, it opens the Sketch interface. Always make sure you check out the Sketch features. This is where they highlight new things. You can check these out. They're animated and full of awesome tips that are going to make you a better Tinkercad designer. When you're done checking them out, you can always hit the X and get out. If you prefer my tutorials, you can check this bit.ly right here. I'm going to scroll back, and for this project, we're going to build with straight lines. This is the 0, 0 mark. I'm going to go out 2 centimeters. So there's 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters. And I'm simply going to make a little rectangle right here. Notice we can see the dimensions. It's 2 by 1 by 1, and then we simply finish it off. It's just a rectangle. If you want to make curves, you can do that, but that won't be in today's tutorial. So now I'm going to take this and I want to make a copy of it. To do that, we do Control-C and Control-Shift-V. That put it in the exact same spot, and then I can click on it and I can Shift-Nudge to move it to the other end. I'm going to move it to the outside of that spot, so now we've got exactly 20 and 20 on the inside and outside, and when we hit Finish Sketch, we have got these cute little rectangles. No big deal, right? Let's quickly make an adjustment. I'm going to change the height to 60, and then I'm going to make the top scale 150, and then on Twist, I want to put in 90. I want it to be a smooth curve, and if we back out, that's a pretty fun design. Now we're going to do Control-D to duplicate and use the mirror tool to flip it. Now I'm simply going to grab them all and do Control-D. Now there's 360 degrees in a circle, so I'm going to choose to rotate them 20 degrees. That is divisible into it. When we do Control-D again and again, check it out. In a moment, you have got a fantastic pattern. Maybe it's a trash can, maybe it's a basketball hoop. You take your pick, but bang. That's how easy it is to duplicate and rotate and make something absolutely fantastic. If you wanted to make this a wastebasket, let me show you real quickly. Simply bring another sketch tool out. I'm putting it right in the center. Once we get inside, I'm just going to zoom out and I'm going to make a diamond that goes to the outside edges of the bottom. So I can kind of see that it's right there. Notice that lined up with that spot. This one I'm going to go right here. Once again, moving over to this side, and I'm going to this center line. Notice I'm from the center, and click to finish. Finally, when you double-click and double-click, it auto-smooths. If you hit finish, you have got a bottom. It's just too high. I'm going to change the setting over here to 1 millimeter. So now there is a bottom in my trash can. If you want to put a ring around the top, I'm going to simply do Control-D, edit that sketch. Now, if we look at this, there's 10, 20, so that means there's 30, or a total of 60 on the outside. So we can just take this duplicate, and I'm going to change it to 62 and 62. Bang! It matches up like that. Let's switch it to a stroke. I'm going to keep the size 2. Notice it doesn't quite go to the outside edge. So instead of having inside, I'm just going to set it to center. Bingo. We have now got a part that totally matches the top. I'm going to shift select, choose L for align, click on that one to make it the boss, and there is the top of your part. How cool is that? Let's do another one just for fun. Of course, I nudged this away. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to edit the sketch. In the exact same locations, this time I'm going to draw a diamond. Of course, you could pick whatever shape you want. You could make it funky, like I'm going to choose to make it that kind of diamond. Delete the old one, so now it actually is more like a kite. I'm going to move up here, and once again, P for pen, out, up to, over, finish, and then I'm going to click on that and delete it. When I hit finish sketch, now our shape has a little bit of a pointed edge out to the outside. I can adjust these numbers, like say I make this 200, and say I make the base scale 80. You can have fun and fiddle with that as much as you want. And then of course we simply do the Control D, flip, mirror. I'm going to grab the 2, do Control D, and let's do our rotation. This time I'm going to choose 10 degrees, so there's even more of them, and do Control D all the way around to make our fancy shape. If you end up with too many, you can do Control Z to back it off. What a fantastic design in only a few minutes. I'm going to real quickly add some color just for fun. Let's go to custom. I'm going to make this out in the pinks. That's pretty cool. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to make it look like a basketball hoop. I'm going to go with gray for the laces. And let's click up here and make it orange for the hoop part. I'm also going to make it a little taller so it looks more like a basketball hoop. And let's delete the blue. If you wanted to make this even look more like a basketball hoop, you could also use the torus. Either way, super simple technique and a ton of fun. All right, so here we are with my original clicky fidgets. These use the Cali keys, make the awesome fidget sound, and then what I got the idea was to have the bases printed ahead of time. That takes away that time, and I can simply print the tops, snap in the fidget parts, and then simply add the tops when I'm done, making the process much more efficient. How cool is that? As an added bonus, I took my micro fidget and I had it printed in metal. Now when you send a part to a 3D printing service, they ask for more of a gap. So you see here on my FDM, I'm doing 0.2. I did have to bump this all the way up to 0.5, but it is a metal 3D printed fidget. How cool is that? So friends, let's wrap up quickly. The first thing I wanted to highlight today was we learned how to use the sketch tool, make a couple of them, duplicate, rotate, scale, and turn it into something absolutely fantastic. I would love to see all the cool ways you put it to use. If you do make a design that you think is awesome, please make it public and tag it with HLMT23 so we can all check it out. I do want to thank everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. There are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Also, make sure you pay attention for those members only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. We're way past 500 members. It has a fantastic free messaging area where you can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.